What's up, kings and queens? Welcome to a monstrous episode of the Creative Differences podcast. I'm Dallas, and I'm a little worried for my boy Kong.
I'm Gabby, and honestly, me too. Yep. Very worried.
I'm Colin, and there really isn't a gender-neutral term for king or queen. I guess you would have to do monarch, which doesn't really sound right because that's too general. I'm
Is
gonna
it too
think about
general?
this. It feels like it is. Like, what up, monarch? I don't know. My liege would be if you were addressing them directly, but if you're anyway, it doesn't matter.
Oh my god!
lieges?
If we said my lieges every time, that'd be great to like your audience.
No.
Hello, my lieges, my listeners.
But also, Monarch is the name of the company that studies all of these giant monsters.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Ah, look at
It's a
that.
gender neutral term for kings and queens. It's funny when I was thinking about that, I was like, is there a gender neutral term? I don't know what. My royalty.
I mean, ruler.
Yeah, but that sounds really general. I don't know. Anyway, hey guys. Today we're talking about Godzilla King of the Monsters because yesterday Godzilla vs. Kong came out, and I don't think we planned for it to come out on a Wednesday, so we thought that we were going to drop the Throwback Thursday first. But Wednesday releases be happening. Oh well, it'd be like that sometimes. But before we get into all that, please like and subscribe and share and download and review and do all those things because I want to be king of the podcasters like Godzilla is king of the monsters. Yeah, I said it. Gabby, don't look at me like that. Gabby, since you seem to have things to say, do you remember your first time watching this movie?
Yeah, it was a couple weeks ago. And right after I watched Kong Skull Island.
Nice, very nice. How was that for you?
And I was like, this is fine. What got me though is Vera Farmiga, man. The talent.
I love her.
She had me at the beginning. She had me in that first half. And it was
You're not
great.
gonna lie.
No, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, she had me too, but that's like from like Bates Motel. Colin,
Yeah.
Me.
first time watching it. What'd you think? When was it? Was it 2 years ago?
Yes, it was. It was
Hey.
with Demi.
Hey, friendship.
Yeah.
And not only that, but we saw it, I think, the week before it came out on the WB lot.
Yeah, see, I wasn't sure if I was allowed to say that. I mean, I figured 2 years, it doesn't matter, but
What
Anyway,
they
yeah,
gonna
that
come get you?
happened. Yeah, dude. They got shooters.
I got 1, 2.
Exactly.
Don't have me go off in a 21 Savage tangent.
I mean, Anyway, yeah, I remember watching it. It was in a theater, which, haven't been to one of those in a minute. And it was a fun time. Like, this is one of those movies that, like, you don't got to think about it too hard. It's just a good time.
Yes. Heads up, audience. There might be a lot of overlap in how we talked about Skull Island and how we talk about this movie because for reasons I'll get into later, like some of the opinion, it's like a weird Venn diagram with a lot of overlap, but we'll get to that. Anyway, my first time watching this movie, specifically that first time, 2 years ago, I was super excited because when I was a kid, I used to play a game called Godzilla
Destroy All Monsters?
Yeah, Colin,
Yup.
Colin was my gamer guy. It was on GameCube. My cousin had a GameCube,
Oh damn.
and that game had King Ghidorah in it, and that was the first time I saw him, and that was my dude. And I was so hyped to see him on screen. Same with Rodan and Mothra, the whole squad. And I saw this movie for the first time with my cousin, who I used to play that game with, and it was just like a full circle experience.
Aww.
And also, shout out to those dudes who were sitting in the front row when I first saw this movie because they were literally jumping up and down in their seats every time a monster fight started. And I was like, yo, I feel you. I feel the energy. So yeah, I love this movie. And I've seen it, like 3 times now, including this morning. Godzilla, King of the Monsters. It's directed by Michael Dougherty. And he directed and wrote Krampus and Trick or Treat. He also worked on the story for Godzilla vs. Kong. And I believe he wrote X2 and Superman Returns. But, never mind. It was written by Michael Dougherty and Zach Shields, who also wrote Krampus and also worked on the story for Godzilla vs. Kong. So I guess they're like a team. Shout out to them. It stars Kyle Chandler, Millie Bobby Brown, Vera Farmiga, Ken Watanabe, Godzilla, Mothra, King Ghidorah, and Rodan, who I only list because they're all credited as themselves in the credits for this movie. And I love that so much.
Wait, what?
At the bottom of the credits, it says Godzilla as himself, Mothra as himself, King Ghidorah as himself, Rodan as himself.
That's
It's lovely.
amazing. Oh, I love
Yes.
it.
So we're going to head to IMDb and see what kind of summary we got today. Is it poetic? Is it crude? Is it long-winded? Let's find out. The cryptozoological, it's already long-winded. The cryptozoological agency, Monarch, faces off against a battery of god-sized monsters, including the mighty Godzilla, who collides with Mothra, Rodan, and his ultimate nemesis, the three-headed king Ghidorah. All right, that's a decent summary. Not too reductive, not too flowery. Anyway, story. If you were listening to our episode about Kong Skull Island, you may have heard Colin say some stuff like, it doesn't seem to have anything too deep to say, and the characters aren't too deep either, but it's cool and it's fun to look at. And that's how I feel about this movie, because boy, do I not care about the humans in this movie.
Oh yeah, absolutely not.
I guess I'll elaborate on that when we get to the characters. But like, yeah, story-wise, I just came to see some monsters fight, bro. That's what I want. That's what I got. So thank you. I'm a little tired of the villain motivation of we're overpopulated and people are the virus and we have to get rid of the people and save the planet, blah, blah, blah. It's just
Tired?
It's become so popular because I guess people think, yeah, people are like, oh, if my villain's an environmentalist, then they'll be a good villain. And I don't care anymore. Like, obviously I care about the environment, but I'm tired of seeing movies where the bad guy's just like, kill everybody, save the planet, everybody gotta die. It's like, that's not, ugh. And their methods are always like super outlandish. Like, what was in Kingsman? He was like, I'm gonna have everybody kill each other violently.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then Thanos was at least like, I'm just gonna snap and everybody's gonna be gone. So that's, I guess, humane relative to the other one. And then Vera Farmiga is just like, I'm just gonna drop monsters everywhere and hope a bunch of people die.
Although I like that, I like the situation in this movie where it was like you don't really find out Vera Farmiga is the villain until like halfway through the movie. You just think she's like being held hostage. And then you find out, oh no, it was like this lady's plan the whole time. Oh no. Like, at least that was interesting, right? You don't know off the bat that she's the bad guy or kind of the bad guy.
Right, because we're like, oh, look, Charles Dance is here. He's definitely the bad guy.
Oh yeah, 100%. Or like the mean, stern father. But obviously he wasn't that, so he had to be the bad guy.
Yeah,
I did like that angle. Yeah, sometimes that's true. In the case of Game of Thrones. But like, I like that portion at least. At least that kept it interesting. I was like, ooh, that's different. So I feel like for me, it spiced it up just enough. Because I was like, why did they go with them? I was so confused. I was like, they had a chance of freedom. They didn't take it. And I was so confused. And then at the end, you find out she's a villain. Wild. Well, not at the end, like halfway through the movie.
Yeah, with her little Zoom call where she described everything in terms of, yeah, well, people gotta die. I'm sorry.
It's like that she's making the call. Like, I don't have to die, but like everyone else does.
Anyway, moving on. There were some cool story beats that were like references to the other ones. Like they talked about the Hollow Earth theory from Kong Skull Island, which was fun. I thought it was super cool that they worked in the twins from like Mothra's mythos, because I guess originally there were these twin fairies that hang out with Mothra. I don't know in what capacity, but like they're connected to her in some way. So then when you realize that Dr. Chen's character is a twin, yeah, she's a twin. It's like, oh, I come from a long line of twins, and you know,
it's like, what?
We know about monsters and stuff. I'm like, oh, that's cool. They did it in a way that was like, they're not mythical, magical fairies, but they still got to do that in a more grounded kind of way. I thought that was dope. Colin.
Mm-hmm.
Any thoughts on this story? Do you feel the same way that you did about Kong Skull Island?
Bruh, listen. Why are there humans in this movie? They don't matter. I don't care about them. And the billing of this movie, because Kong Skull Island is like, people are going to Skull Island. Okay, I know that you're going to have to do shit with people. This movie is Godzilla, King of the Monsters. You go into this movie thinking, you know, right? You know what you want. What you want is monsters fighting. And you get that, don't get me wrong. But I don't care about Millie Bobby Brown. I don't care about Vera Farmiga. I don't care about these people and their sadness. I want to see the monsters fight. Why are you here? Why are you here? Go away. And I know they're going to pull that shit in Godzilla v. Kong because there's that thing in the trailer with the kid or whatever. Like,
join us in a
no.
few days when we talk about Godzilla versus Kong and say the exact same thing about the human characters.
Thank you. I just like I feel like I get from a storytelling perspective, you feel like you have to have humans in it so that people can connect to it. But I feel like audiences aren't. I don't
Well, I
need
feel
to
like
connect
they
to
have
this
humans
movie.
in it as well, so that adults go, right? So they're not like, well, it's animated.
I'm sorry.
so
Are you
it's
saying
obviously for
adults think
children.
that monsters fighting is beneath them?
I feel like
Well, then adults are
if you
shit.
put
I
people
mean,
in it, I don't know. I feel like because I just thought of like a movie with Godzilla and monsters, with only monsters in it, and in my head, and I was like, I feel like people would think that movie was for kids, like because it would be like mostly CG and animated, as opposed to this one where it's like there's people running around. I don't know. That's my only reason why I feel like they would put in so many human characters. But also, like, I guess the driving force in this movie was that humans are trying to dig out these monsters. So that's how you have these monsters come out. It's like humans dug them out. But like, other than that, like, yeah, I agree with you. Why are they here? You can't do anything. You can't, like, none of them, like, all they did the whole movie was try to get out of the way. And like revive Godzilla for a second, so he wouldn't have to sleep for 1,000 years. He would just sleep for like
Yeah, that was
a couple
helpful.
hours. They recharged Godzilla's battery, and then that was it. That's all they
Yeah.
could do, and then move out of the
That was
way.
helpful.
So I agree with you, Colin.
But yeah, speaking of all those characters we don't care about, what they did do well is they had a great cast. And it was like, hey, you're not going to care about these characters, but I know you care about the actors. So that's good enough, right? So here's Vera Farmiga and Millie Bobby Brown and O'Shea Jackson Jr. and Bradley Whitford and Ken
Love him.
Watanabe and Joe Morton and Anthony Ramos
Just
and a
went
bunch of other people.
on and on.
I was like, yo, there's so many cool people in this movie.
But like O'Shea Jackson and Anthony Ramos, I was like, if they don't make it to the end, I'm quitting. So like the soldiers last time.
It's funny, yeah, because like, oh, we're back to soldiers and, you know, military, hoorah. And it's like, as much as I care about these actors, I did not care about these characters so much. I thought Anthony Ramos and O'Shea Jackson Jr. died in the beginning. In the scene in the snow when like Ghidorah first shows up and all the soldiers are out there, but I guess not these soldiers, despite the fact that every other time we see soldiers, it's Little Ice Cube. But then when the soldier's getting blasted by the lightning, it's like, oh no, he wasn't in that one. So he pops up later and I'm like, nigga, you still alive? And then we actually did kill, what's her name? Sally Hawkins?
yes.
Shape of Water? Fish or
yeah.
friends, not food. Yeah, her.
Yeah, that was like, stop it, Dallas.
Fish or
Oh
something.
my god.
But yeah.
Yeah, I was surprised they killed her.
And like, no one even cared. Like, somebody, I think Ken Watanabe was like sad or whatever, but he looks sad the whole time. He looks so tired in these movies. Like she's like, and then Ghidorah chomps her up. And then I don't think anyone said anything about it. I don't remember anyone talking about her character dying in the following scene. They're just like, oh man,
We gotta
Ghidorah,
go.
we gotta go. Godzilla's coming.
They also killed
And I was like,
Watanabe.
somebody.
Yeah, which I was
Yeah,
like,
but he got a whole
no.
scene
He got a death.
and like
great death,
emotion and
That was the only death that I was like, oh man, not Ken. Although he looked
Yeah.
like he didn't want to be there no more.
Yeah, he was
He was
like,
like, "Just let me
I'm
die, bro."
here. I'm here, like, you know, it's fine. Let me die
They're
real
like, we
quick
gotta
so I
set
don't
the
have to come
bomb.
back.
We gotta set it manually. And then Bradley Whitford is like, nah, it would kill you. Kim was like, it'll kill, bro. I'm in. Sign me up.
I'm out.
I'm ready. Been trying to die since the 2014 movie. But
Been trying to
yeah,
die since the
freaking
2014 movie. I forgot he was in that too. Damn. Okay.
yeah.
Anyway.
But freaking Sally, she just got chomped up. No one said a word about it. I was like, yo, y'all are cold. But I didn't care either, so what can I really say?
damn.
Anyway,
Yeah.
shout out to Joe Morton, one of Demi's favorite people. He's actually playing Dr. Dre's character from Kong Skull Island.
Is he playing Dr. Dre's character?
Yeah, Brooks.
Oh, that's crazy. Well, also,
Oh.
but also, like every time I see him play a scientist, I always got to get a little concerned because nothing good ever comes of it, except in this movie. So
That's true. He didn't die horribly this time around.
That's great.
and other,
Also-
well, I guess
didn't
other
realize.
people did die horribly, but like people were saved because of the work he did this time, unlike most of the other
Yeah.
times.
Yeah. I think he should just stick to like cryptozoology instead of like robotics and Skynet stuff. I don't know. But anyway, when I say Dr. Dre, I mean Corey Hawkins, the actor Corey Hawkins, who plays Dr. Dre in Straight Outta Compton, was also a character that none of us cared about in Kong Skull Island. And, he's still alive. He's Joe Morton now. Hooray. But speaking of Dr. Dre, this movie almost completes the set of NWA because O'Shea played O'Shea in Straight Outta Compton, and now he's in this movie too. So
who's left?
We have MC Ren, who's Aldous Hodge, I believe.
Yep.
I don't know if they're gonna go that deep into NWA. I don't think Aldous Hodge is in the next movie.
That would have been great though.
Right? Get the whole set.
Yep. They also did not continue their pattern of Marvel Cinematic Universe pair-ups with this movie either, and I don't think they will in the next one, and I'm kind of upset about it.
Dang, they have nobody for this one?
They had the little girl who played Morgan Stark, but that was it, and she played the younger version of Millie Bobby Brown, so it doesn't really... It's not enough.
Yeah, not enough. Yeah, I guess I had to phase that out. I do want to shout out Kyle Chandler, super dad in this movie, because we all knew, everyone making, watching, and involved in the movie knew we were just watching this movie for the monsters and we didn't care about the humans.
Yep.
But Kyle Chandler is performing like he doesn't know that.
Yep.
Like, oh man, I'm putting a performance. People are going to care about me.
Yeah. Kyle Chandler's like, put me in awards contention.
Yeah, he's like, I'm acting. And I was like, yo, you are really acting right now. And you know what? I do want to care about your character because you are trying and I respect that. But get out of the way so I can see Godzilla.
You're like, I'm trying to watch monsters fight.
But yeah, shout out Kyle Chandler. Good performance. And I did like his character. He was, charming. He wanted to save his daughter. That's always good.
He acknowledged that his wife had gone off the deep end. Like, he was like, she's gone, but my baby, let me cook it.
Yeah, gotta get my daughter though. Yeah. Like I said earlier, the villain isn't super interesting, but in my notes, I know his name was Charles Dance, but in my notes, I wrote, they got the Frollo looking dude from Game of Thrones. So now he's menacing. And yeah, there's that.
Okay. So, like, I know most people think of Charles Dance as very menacing, but so back in the early days of Game of Thrones, around like season 2, season 3, when Charles Dance first appeared, everyone on Tumblr was like, yeah, I know he's like intimidating or whatever, but all I think of is this. And they posted this video of Charles Dance in like a gift set of Charles Dance in like this old movie that he was in, or not that old, like from the early 2000s, where he comes out in drag and does like a full show. And so that's all I think of is like, I think of Charles Dance in drag, and I want to see it again. Honestly, I like that he's getting a lot of work, but it's all very similar, and I want to see him. I want to see the varied actor that he is in the drag.
Well, he's also my choice of Mr. Bennett because my favorite Pride and Prejudice is Pride and Prejudice and zombies. So
that's true. But he still played a stern, like he was still like military. Like, I don't know. I want to see different versions of Charles Dance.
He definitely wasn't military.
I know it
exists.
Make
that clear.
That's true. It was like, he was like a fighting dad, like, or like, train my daughters in combat kind of father. Still very kind of stern. So I just want to see him in that gift set because it's also the only thing I ever think about when I see him.
Listen, there were zombies.
That's true. He was still kind of a loving father, but like, you know what I mean? Like, I know he's varied. I want to see him in other things.
What if he was just like inexplicably in drag the whole time in this movie, but like they didn't explain it? Like he just came out shooting people.
I'm gonna go find that gift set.
In drag.
It was great.
But yeah, also shout out to CCH Pounder, who is in the movie for like 1 second, but she's the OG Amanda Waller from the Justice League cartoons, and I love her.
Also, she just has like one of the most badass names.
CCH Pounder. It's like a pro wrestling name, a porn name. It's so many things.
Anything.
And it's just her name.
Yeah.
I think her name is like Carol or something. I don't know. I don't know what the C's.
I don't want to know her actual name.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna look it up for my own sake. It's oh wow, look at that. Yep. Normal human name. Anyway, do you guys have anything to say about the characters you don't care about?
No.
Cool. Moving on to visuals and sound. Oh my God, the visuals in this movie are fantastic, but I feel like I'm monopolizing our time, so I'm going to pass it over to Colin to start.
They put in work. Like, that's the thing about this movie is like, I respect the making of it because they put in work to make this shit look pretty. And they didn't need to do that because this is a big monsters. Who gives a shit, right? Like, yeah, you want to make the beam weapons look cool or whatever, but like Mothra unfurling her wings in this beautiful display, like you don't need that, but you put it in there, and I respect it.
It's beautiful.
Like, just doing work. Also, like, the sounds are really cool. Like Godzilla's roar, I know has gone through 1,000 different permutations because like you got to get that shit right. It's good every time. It hits every time.
Oh my god!
So
every time I
good.
hear it, it shakes me to my core.
And like, I feel like every movie does it where like it's in darkness or something and you just hear it, and every movie does it, but it always works. It's always good.
Yeah, one of the things I didn't get to talk, I think I forgot to bring up in the Kong Skull Island review is that in credits when we're seeing like, oh, they're gonna fight, and then after it goes dark you just hear Godzilla. I was like, oh, it shook me. And then this movie starts with it, like I think before we see anything we just hear that, and it's like, Zilla. Gabby, thoughts on the visuals?
I like, okay, so this did the same thing that Kong Skull Island did, and the previous like Godzilla movie did, where they kind of showed you very clearly the scale of these monsters, which I really liked. And I also like that this movie, while we did get some fights in like the darkness and like the rain and stuff, we also got some fights in like the daylight where you could see it. And I just like this trend because I feel like it makes it so that I feel like it's going to make the Kong versus Godzilla fight visible. Like we're not going to have it in darkness. It's going to be in the daytime. I'm going to be able to see it well. And so that's why I like what they're doing. They're showing us a very good scale. So we know just how gigantic these things are. Particularly when Ghidorah was in the ice, I was like, what is that? And the people were so teeny and it was just so big. I did like that. And then just like once Godzilla was out there fighting, like you saw how big these things were.
Just so big. Visuals. I just wrote down a list of my favorite shots because I couldn't stop doing that. So Godzilla swimming toward the ship with his blue lights glowing. And they're like, oh, what's that? It's intimidation. Blah, 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 blah. And Sally Hawkins was like, I know all about deep sea creatures. I know what that is. Moving on. The first shot of Ghidorah when he like comes out of the ice, like he's rising out and you just see like that first charge up of lightning. I was like, yes, this is what I wanted since I was a kid. Ghidorah about to wreck these niggas. And he did. That first face off between Godzilla and Ghidorah where it looks like a screenshot from a fighting game. Like where it would say like round 1 in the beginning because you have them on opposite sides and it's just like a lot of empty space. And I was like, that should say round 1 fight. It was so beautiful. Rodan coming out the lava, the fire demon, like in that little spin move he does with the fight. So good. So good. Who did I say made this movie? Michael Dougherty? Shout out to Michael Dougherty. You did your thing. And everybody else. I don't have everybody's name. Sorry. Ghidorah showing up in the storm during that Rodan scene, like with the lightning is like illuminating him. Beautiful. Every fight between Godzilla and Ghidorah, after the Rodan scene, they're in the water and Godzilla just grabs Ghidorah, starts baptizing him, like choke slamming him in the water.
That was amazing.
I love it.
I will say the difference in fighting between Godzilla and like Kong, I feel like Kong is very good about using his environment and Godzilla's just like, I'm just going to bang things, right? So I feel like it gave Kong sort of an edge because Godzilla is just like, he's not really using his environment. He's not as creative. So I liked that there's a big and clear difference in their fighting styles is what I'm saying. I'm kind of excited about that. I feel like Kong does have an edge then when you look at the way that they fight.
Yeah. Man, I hope it works out for him. My only thing is, in this movie, Godzilla turns into a bomb. And just like he's walking through the streets and things are melting because he's there. And it's like, oh no, he can't lose a fight. But
That's true.
I also don't think they're going to use that in this movie. Or, when we're recording this, the movie hasn't come out. So I'm hypothesizing. Because Kong would melt. And I don't think that they just want the gorilla to disintegrate.
No.
It's not what they're going to do in the movie.
No.
It's like, if you tell me that Batman and Superman are going to fight in the movie, it's like, oh, so Superman's just going to laser beam through his face? But no, he can do that. But he's not going to do that in the movie.
No, because they're going to both find out that their moms are named Martha and be like, oh my God, did we just become best friends?
Godzilla's going to be like, save Mothra. Kong's going to stop beating him with the boat or whatever. He's like, what?
He'd be like,
Why
what did you say?
Mothra. And then those the lady twins are going to be like, it's his mother's name. Anyway. None of that happened in the movie, I'm sure of it. But, also, last thing. The Godzilla song, it slaps. I've been listening to it all day. It's by Serge Tankian from System of a Down and Bear McCreary, who did the music for this movie. Fantastic. The original version is by Blue Oyster Cult, but this version goes harder for me. So shout out to all of them.
Does it go as hard as that other Kong song from like Charlie's Angels? Like dun 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 dun. You know, I can't remember who does that song.
Oh, the Simon Says.
Yes.
That song.
Does it
is
go as
called,
hard as
Simon
that?
Says by Pharaoh Monch, and that song samples the Godzilla theme, and nothing goes as hard as Simon Says by Pharaoh Monch, especially when Sam Rockwell is dancing to it.
Alrighty, I can temper my expectations then.
Yeah. Anyway, Colin, what's your favorite thing about this movie?
I guess just how it looks. Like I respect how much effort they put into that. Like making this shit look pretty. It's nice.
I feel it. Gabby?
I don't know. Because this movie felt a little flat for me. So I suppose I got excited for the idea of like Kong and Godzilla fighting. And I liked all the different monsters. So I guess I could say that. I liked the variety in monsters. I liked that the idea that there might be like a mecha Ghidorah. Yeah, that's about it. Because otherwise the movie felt like I liked Kong Skull Island, but this one did fall a little flat for me.
Fair. That's fair. My favorite thing was King Ghidorah because my inner child did backflips when he showed up on screen. And I was just so happy to see that. Yeah, Ghidorah is just so dope. Like, dude got one of his heads ripped clean off and then took some kind of like bomb that I don't even know what kind of bomb it was. And then Godzilla like, died. And then Ghidorah just jumped out the water like he was getting out of a hot tub. And then grew his head back like, yo, he's that dude. I love him. That's Colin.
Me.
Just gonna go ahead and ask you, who you think's hotter, Godzilla or Kong?
Oh, Godzilla, that goes without saying.
Why does it go without saying? I don't know.
I just look at Godzilla.
Okay, so
Dallas, I could have told you that he was going to choose Godzilla.
I mean, yeah, you guys have been in the chat
Also,
that you're
the
in.
light show, like, come on.
All right, I'm just saying. You tell me like look at Godzilla, but me as a person who is only attracted to humans, it's like I can't look at one of them and determine which one is more attractive because I see two giant monsters.
I mean, if you want to be reductive about it, sure.
My bad. Gabby, you have any thoughts on that matter?
No.
Would be a bit worried if you did, to be honest.
Would you?
Surprised, rather.
Would you? I don't really have.
Yeah.
Nope.
All right, that's fair. Let's get out of this.
Stay tuned because we are going to be releasing a review of Godzilla vs. Kong. So check it out.
Audience people, kings and queens and monarchs and rulers and all those other terms. Thank you for listening to all of that, especially the end part. As always, thank you, Crown Digital, Brandon, and Ayo for putting us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts where we can spread our nonsense. To me, thank you for editing and putting us on YouTube. Thank you all for I feel like we all really vibed on this episode, despite we have different levels of liking this movie, but we all kind of feel the same way about it. Like for Gabby, it fell flat. I love it. I don't actually know where Colin lands on that scale, but we're all just like, yeah, monsters are dope. The humans are whack. And I appreciate you all for that. Anyway, audience, people, royals, monarchs, what do you think of King of the Monsters? Let us all know on Twitter, y'all_different, Instagram and Tumblr, Creative Differences Podcast, or Facebook.com/Creative Differences PC. If you've played Godzilla Destroy All Monsters Melee, find me on Twitter so we can talk about it. I'm on Twitter and Instagram at the King Named Simba.
Let me know if you were right in thinking who would win on Instagrams at Stegosaurus.
Tell me this isn't just like a really elaborate dating sim on Twitter at DuckMcGuck.
You would take it there, Colin. It's been different, y'all.
Bye.
Bye. I'm Dallas, and I'm a little worried for my boy Kong.
I'm Gabby, and you know what? I've just accepted Colin. I think he's a great person, and he can like what he likes.
I don't think that was. Yep. Okay. All right.
Hold on.
Dallas, do you want to?
Time out.
Yeah, Dallas, do you want to?
I said I'm a little worried for my boy Kong.
Kong. I thought you said Colin because of the monster fucking stuff.
Oh.
I can't hear.
Good start to me. Make sure to bleep that.
Can we start over?
Yeah, I'm a little worried from my boy Colin, but that's not what I was talking about.
Oh no, we got to keep this. This is good.
No. We're definitely. I want it, but
100%. 100%.
Can we
start over?
This is so good.
Please.
2 minutes and 30 seconds. I don't know what it is.